Okay, I'm gonna come clean. I've been working my butt off out here today. I've been raking and doing all kind of stuff. I'm gonna show you what I've been doing, but the reason I'm doing it, I'm admitting to myself now, is to avoid doing what I actually came out here to do. I walked out here to go ahead and try to put up Christmas lights. I have never in my life put up Christmas lights. I believe they're in that bucket. I've got written on the side that it's Christmas tree decor, but I've got extension cord and lights, so I'm hoping they're in there. So that's what my goal was. I wanted to put white lights across the front of my house, like across the top part, and then maybe do some lights kind of strung around the ramp, going down the ramp. But I'm intimidated by it. I'm intimidated by it. I guess the bottom edge of that window is, my trailer's up off the ground. So I think the bottom edge of that window is about 5.5 feet. So I don't know if they're 5-foot windows, that's 10. I guess the little peak up there is about 14 feet or so off the ground. Now that's not real tall in the scheme of things, but I've never put up Christmas lights. I have that rickety ladder that I showed the other day that I put under my 18-wheeler. That ladder was already out here on this property. I have a gorilla ladder that'll extend a long ways. And I bought that ladder because of a recommendation someone had to use it while putting up the high tunnel. And I had purchased a high tunnel, so I bought the gorilla ladder to use to put it up with it, but I don't like it. I don't like this ladder. I love the little blue one underneath it, but I don't think it's gonna get me where I need to be. And I sure don't wanna stand on the very top of that blue one. I don't like these gorilla ladders. For one thing, they're kind of a double ladder. You see how it is? It's like it's 2 ladders. And theoretically, that little part up there at the top is really just a fold part. I could fold this ladder out and make it twice as long as it is now. That's the good thing about it, is you can end up having this big long reach with this ladder. I can't remember how far this one reaches. I'm thinking 22 feet or something like that. I think it's about 11 foot tall, and it'll double over and reach 22 feet. However, number one, it's very heavy. I would not fold it and try to do any kind of really tall maneuvering on it. But I don't even like to use it folded like this. I tried to lean it up against the top of this lean-to and rake debris off the top of the lean-to. That's where I first tried to use this ladder. And that's when I discovered I don't like it. What I do like is that it does have a wide base at the bottom, and that's stabilizing, so that's good. But then it narrows up. And when you're climbing up that part, your feet are not very far apart from each other. There's really not a lot of room to climb. And I felt very unsafe on it. There's no little shelf like there is on these smaller ladders. You know, the shelf where you can set your paint or put your hammer or whatever. There's really nothing up there as a shelf that can, I don't know, I just like having that little shelf up there. With this, you have nothing. So I felt like when I was up on it, I remember my husband sitting there, he was in the lawn chair kind of watching me, and I told him, I said, I don't like this. I said, I'm getting down. And I got down. I did not feel the same as if I was on a regular tripod ladder with a shelf at the top. Somebody getting a deer out there. I don't know if y'all heard that. Big gunshot going off. But I don't like the gorilla ladder. It would work, and I may end up using it. But there's a theory I'm kind of going by here lately, and I might enact that theory again. My theory is to try to take things off my shoulders. I've been trying to do that for the last month or so at least. Just take things off my plate, take things off my back, trying to make things functional. Like I mentioned in my last video, trying to do things to make things functional, but to take things off my plate that aren't really necessary for me to do or to deal with. I've kind of been enacting some of that here lately. At Thanksgiving, I kind of enacted it a little bit and kind of took some things off the menu that I normally would have just killed myself doing. I've always tried to cook a little extra at Thanksgiving and bring to people and all. I kind of took that off my plate this year. I always want to be a giving person and everything, but sometimes you just have to realize you're going to hit the wall if you don't slow down a little bit. I took some present giving off my plate this year, and I actually, some of the present giving that I really need to do, like my grandkids and all, I kind of took that off the plate and just gave my daughter cash. And I asked my daughter what they wanted. Did she know? And they had all had these little Christmas lists going. Even the youngest ones were picking things out of some little Walmart books that she had, some Amazon books, and she knew exactly what they wanted. And I said, so let me just give you the money, you order it, and I will wrap it all and give it to them. And that's what I did this year. So I haven't been out in the shopping mode this year. I've kind of taken that off my plate as well. I still have to do some. You always have to do some. And my husband's birthday is coming up shortly. It's right before Christmas, so I have to do that for him, you know, get him something for his birthday and all. You can't completely just opt out sometimes, not especially not when you have grandkids. But I've tried to kind of make it easier on myself. And I think what I'm going to do for these Christmas lights is I'm not putting them across the front of the house. I'm just not. I think they're just going to go around the door, and they're going to go wherever I can twirl them on the ramp. And I may even see if I can twirl a few out there on the carport area just to kind of light it up for when my son comes home late at night from school and everything, and just kind of make it a little cheery out there, but not have that pressure on me of trying to drag this ladder that I really don't like. I really don't need to be up on a ladder. I think a lot of injuries come from ladders from what I hear. I don't really think I need to be getting up on ladders and starting a tradition of myself getting up there all the time and doing these Christmas lights every year. The reason I wanted to do it is because my husband has always loved Christmas lights. He's always gotten out there and put them up on our house. We're not the Griswolds. He never went crazy, but he always wanted them. And he always took a Saturday to sort lights, stretch lights, test them, get up on the ladder, put them up, and he's always so proud of it. And he loved it. And he would love it if I did it. But I'm not him. And I can't afford to fall off a ladder. I don't really have, I guess I could ask for help, but I don't really want to bother anybody with that. And so I think I'm just going to take a little of that off my plate. Even saying that though, I've never really put up Christmas lights outside. I always did the inside decorating. He did the outside. And that's another story. Let me tell you about that. Just going to walk and talk. This year, I decided just to get a Christmas tree from Walmart and get a little pre-lit one. It was $99. And that's it. That's our tree. I'm not doing anything else as far as really going crazy decorating the tree. That's another thing my husband has always loved is real trees. We used to have artificial trees when we first got married because that's what I grew up with. We always had artificial trees, really the same one for probably 20 years. And we decorated it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. So we got one when we got married, and for a few years, that's what we did. But later on, he just insisted, I'm tired of those artificial trees. I don't want to use them anymore. I want real trees. So I always told him, well, okay, but you take care of it. You know, you water it, you haul it out, sweep the den afterwards, please. I don't want to be dealing with a real tree all the time. So that was our deal, and that's what he did. And then he had his stroke. So that was off the table. However, he still was adamant about getting one the last couple of years. So he had started this tradition with our oldest granddaughter of letting her go help pick out our tree. And we'd bring it to our house and she would help us decorate it, and my daughter would be there, and they all love to decorate and do stuff. So they were kind of handling the tree. I'd just kind of fix it at the end if I wanted anything special a certain way. And it was working out fine. His stroke was 2021. So Christmas 2021, we just went ahead and did that. Our granddaughter did it again. She picked it out and they all came and decorated. And it was good because it was kind of celebratory, giving Richard those traditions and making him feel very, very happy around Christmas after he had had that whole year of therapy and stroke and hospitals and all that stuff. So it worked out fine. Christmas 2022, we had sold our home. So we didn't have a tree last year. We just enjoyed the one at our daughter's house when we went there. So this is Christmas 2023. And Lainey put the kibbutz on the real trees. I just told him, I said, no. I said, Richard, I'm just gonna take things off my plate. I don't want to, first of all, go shopping for a real tree every year, because when you do get real trees, you pay for them every year. We don't have any trees on my property that I can cut that would be pretty to use. And so we would have to go to a little lot. We could let our granddaughter still pick it out and everything, but it's $100 and something now to get a tree. Haul it home, have to get help leveling it and lifting it and everything and getting it straight in the little cage, the stand, and then watering it constantly, watering it, and dealing with all the little bristles falling off, hauling it out of our house afterwards and everything. So I just said no. I'm just kind of having to take back a little bit of myself and just say no, and because I'm the one in the end that's having to deal with it. I'm the one that would be cleaning up this Christmas tree that was so fun to put up that night. I'm the one that would be cleaning it up. So I'm having to say no, and I'm okay with that. And when we got to Walmart, I almost let myself get carried away to buy something really, really nice or whatever. I went in there for the $99 tree, and I ended up looking at some of them that were like $200. I was looking at all pre-lits. I'm just all about the pre-lits right now. So anyway, I looked at them, and I ended up just shaking my head in Walmart and going, why? Why are you doing this? You don't need, you know, the top of the line Christmas tree. You just need a pretty little tree. And I bought the $99 pre-lit one. I let Richard decide on the lights. He wanted the multicolor, and I like white lights and stuff, but I'll give him that one. So we got the multicolor lights, and you know what I ended up doing? I ended up putting it together, putting it up, plugging it in. It works great. Fluffed all the little branches and everything. It looks beautiful, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. When you walk in the house, it's got a lot of lights on it, and it's lit up in all these multicolor lights, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I just told him, I said, you know what? I kind of like it just like this. I kind of don't want to hang stuff all over it and everything. And he said, just leave it like that then. And I said, are you happy? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, I'm happy with it. So that's what I've done. So it's been up the last few weeks. It was up before Thanksgiving. And it's just a tree with a lot of beautiful lights on it. And that's it. I'm taking that off my plate. I'm not dragging out ornaments, decorating the tree, putting up ornaments, you know, later, and having to store them again. And I'm having to store those things in my 18-wheeler with tons and tons and tons of duct tape on it, because I don't want anything getting in those boxes. And I just decided I don't even really want to get them out. I don't even really want to undo those boxes and get them out and then have to go through all that duct taping and all again. I bought a $99 tree with the pre-lit lights in the size of the box that it is. It's a 7-foot tree, folds back up and goes into the size box that can go in my guest bedroom closet and fit just fine. It can stand upright and not take up very many square feet at all. And that's what I'm doing. And so I feel good. I feel like I can enjoy things a little more if I take things off my plate. I've kind of rambled a little bit. What I did this morning though, while I'm processing this all in my mind, and while I'm trying to talk myself into taking these things off my plate and quit stressing myself out, and when I was looking at the house, just thinking, you don't have to have lights all over this house. You don't. Just don't do it. Don't get up on the ladder. Just don't do it. While I was thinking about all that, I was also back here working while I processed it. That's kind of what I have to do sometimes. Tell me if that's what you have to do, or can you just make decisions really, really quick? Sometimes I have to work through them and process, and then I kind of feel at peace once I make it. If I took a little bit of while to decide it, don't have to take weeks to decide it, but just a little bit. Plus, the bonus is I get some work done while I'm doing it. Let me show you. My electricity runs from that pole right there, 3 foot underground, and comes up over here where our meter box is inside of our house. But I had a trench dug. The people came with a trenching machine when they were doing our sewer, and they went ahead and dug a trench for me for the electrical conduit. Well, it kicked up a little spoiled dirt pile that's been here ever since. I had really meant to kind of take care of this, and but I didn't. And so then grass grew all over it, and then leaves were all over it. And so I had a note to myself to come out here and deal with this dirt pile. Just come out here and do something with it, spread it out or whatever. Also, what I was gonna do is take some of it, and I was gonna come over here to the edge of my carport. Right here, I'm just having some erosion from when rain runs down here. And my husband said something about it, and I actually right there too. And I'm having a little erosion there. And so I was gonna bring some of that dirt over here and put in these spots, just kind of pack it in, kind of shove it in with a shovel. It may erode too later on, but you know, at least it'll kind of nip it in the bud for right now. So that was what was on my list, to do that, to handle that pile. But it had leaves all over it, so I started raking the leaves off of the pile, which led to me raking all the leaves from back here. It feels so good. I know these leaves nourish your soil and all that stuff, but they also just make me feel like the yard's like a rat's nest. And I tell you what, I'd just soon look at this dirt as to just be looking at all those leaves everywhere. I just went ahead and swept them all off from basically my little fire pit area this way. I swept them all off. Under these steps, there was so many leaves under those steps, it was unreal. That's another project for probably the spring or something. I've got to do something about some permanent porches back here, but that's another day. So to avoid doing the Christmas lights, I ended up sweeping all back here. I also decided while I'm back here, you know, one thing leads to the other. I decided to trim my little Japanese magnolia tree. It had branches sticking out everywhere. They were all at the bottom, they were in the middle. I have left basically the bare bones. I have left the bare bones and I took everything else off. But what I was thinking, there's my kitchen sink window right there. I was thinking of treating myself to at least putting some lights on this tree. And just putting some lights, at least a couple little strands of white lights, to where when I look out here and I'm looking at my little fire pit area, which y'all has been such a blessing to me. It's been such a blessing. It's come out good. I can look at something when I'm looking out that window now, and I love it. My son, I'm pointing at everything with my rake. My son took out the wood that was in the fire pit, and the other night, he's got his chair over there. The other night he sat over there and burned some stuff, some scraps and things from when he processed that deer, and he burned them. And so he used all the wood out of that fire pit, but I've got plenty to load it up with. And that's another thing that I can do to keep myself busy with the time I'm saving, avoiding doing the Christmas lights. I'll show you that. Let's go. I've still got these burn piles back here. I'm very, very close to being able to burn them. It's just horrible. I got one big pile there. That's my main pile where we always burn stuff there. And then this one over there is all the trimmings from the crepe myrtles and from all those big branches that fell out of my trees. So this is just boxes and garbage I've been throwing over there. I am almost to the point where I can start burning. I probably could start burning now without getting in any kind of trouble. I've been seeing a lot of people burning, but I've been observing that everybody that I've seen burning right now has been using equipment and kind of pushing things out into the middle of dirt fields and fields around their farms. And there's nothing but dirt and mud kind of surrounding all the brush, and then they've been lighting it on fire. I haven't seen anybody with just a regular burn pile in their yard setting it on fire yet. And I just don't think it's time yet for me to do that. We had a little rain about a week and a half ago, something like that. And it's been 2 weeks since we had those 2 days of drizzle. And so it's still pretty dry. It's still pretty dry where I live. We don't tend to get the rain that some of the other places get. Anyway, once it rains maybe one more time, I'm gonna go for it. But before I start, I wanna get my little Saker mini chainsaw that I got and I'm going to come out here and cut more wood because my son, he's excited about using that fire pit. He's, you know, talked about it several times, so I know they're going to need wood and I'm going to use it. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to cut things about, say, you know, 2 foot long little sections and stack as many as I can in that fire pit, and then I'll just make another little place to stack them. But between these limbs here, I've got a lot of wood. Some of this is too thick for my little mini chainsaw, but we have a regular chainsaw that he can use, so I can save these trunks for him to burn. And then all the leafy parts will go in the fire. But I've got a lot of firewood here I could cut, and that's another thing I want to work on. I have a motivation factor going with all of this, and I'll tell you about that too right now. My husband's birthday is not December 17th, but we're having him a party on December 17th. And a few people, it's just a small party, but a few people that are going to be here have just not been able to come up to our house yet and see our new place. So that is motivating me to get some things done that I've been kind of lollygagging around on. You just do. Even like straightening that wood pile under my lean-to. I had intended to do that the very next morning after straightening the other side of the lean-to that I showed you on the video. I hadn't done it yet. Fixing to do it in just a few minutes though. But that is motivating me to finish some of these things. I have to have baselines sometimes. Just open-ended dates or timelines don't help me. I have to kind of have a baseline. I have to have people coming over, or a holiday, or a day I know it's going to get really, really cold, or something like that. Or if we have a tornadic front coming through or something, you know, there's things that I know I need to get accomplished before bad weather deteriorates. I just kind of have to have mile markers like that to make myself move and get something done. And so that December 17th date is going to be my mile marker, and it's going to accomplish 2 things. Number one, it's going to help me get things done before company comes, but also it's going to help me get things done even a week earlier than Christmas. So that whole week leading up to Christmas is a whole week I'll be able to know I'm finished with projects. I'll be able to enjoy more of just my family time, maybe go ride, look at a lot more Christmas lights and do things. I really want to kind of hunker down in December and not have too much stress on me. And I think that's why I'm doing things with the lights and the tree and everything. I just want to take some stress off and be able to kind of recuperate, let these cold months where I'm kind of inside more. I'm still outside right now a lot, but I mean, there'll come a time when it's really wet, rainy and cold, and I'm going to be inside. And I just want to use those months to kind of rest, heal, think, reorganize, get my thoughts straight for the spring, get my seeds inventoried, ordered more seeds, start thinking about my grow lights and getting all that organized, and whatever I can do inside. I want my outside things to be done. I want to drive up my driveway and be proud of what I accomplished in this 1 year that we've lived here. December 28th will make 1 year. And I think by December 28th, I'm really going to be able to see what a difference that I made on this property. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm fixing to set this rake down right now and straighten this wood pile. I am not going to leave this little area until it's done, because it probably won't take but 5 minutes. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to roll on to the next thing that I'll show you. All right, got it done. So now the right and the left side of the dog pen are completely organized, picked up, cleaned up, the wood pile straightened. That's what I'm talking about. It just feels good. This might just look like dirt and junk, but I'm telling you what, it feels good when you come out here to go get something and you know where it is. And you know what you've got. And I'm not completely 100% there yet, because I still have to clean out my 18-wheeler and really find out what's in there. What did my husband have that I don't know about as far as tools, garbage bags, things like that? What's in there that I might don't know about? And I've got to go through all that. But I'm getting closer. I'm closer than I was. I'm closer than I was. I just want to call it Project Reclaim Your Yard. I've got my corn patch here. Well, it's got other things growing in it right now, but it's basically a garden. And this whole back corner, I've griped about it before because it's been the catch-all place, not just for the brush piles, which are all along there, but it was where the wood chips were dumped, which that's a blessing, so I'm not complaining about that. It's also where this 8-foot trailer that we had at our old house got dumped. I'm actually wanting to sell this, but I need to get these wood piles burned so that somebody can back in here to actually take it if they buy it. These wood chips, I'm definitely going to kind of use them all around my flower beds by the spring and get this wood chip pile flattened out. Tired of looking at it. It just needs to be flattened out. This is where the dirt was from that organic soil that I bought that really wasn't that great. So it needs to be kind of spread out and leveled out. I can kind of spread it out and it'll just help cover this other soil that was here. And over time, it'll break down and probably end up being a decent place, you know, to plant something or whatever later. But coming back up here and just giving you the overview, basically what I want is all of that stuff cleared away. All of it cleared away to where there's a straight shot of vision to the 18-wheeler, but also that'll help me if I need to go to the 18-wheeler with the golf cart or to back my car up to it to load something or whatever. I've got a straight shot. I don't have any more burn piles. I may just do something different with the whole burn pile situation and to where I'm not always bringing brush back here. And that's one of the things, it's kind of like you do sometimes have to put things on your plate so that you can get them done correctly so that they're not on your plate anymore. And getting this whole area cleared out, the wood chip pile gone, the rocks cleared up, the trailer sold and gone, the brush piles burned, and any other little trash that might be back here that's accumulated, just to get that done and taken care of, to me, will make 2024 be such a more effective and functional year. When people drive up, this is what embarrasses me right now, especially with these burn piles. And I just haven't been able to control it because we are just the kind of people that would burn trash all the time, and I have not been able to do it because of our drought. But I'm going to get it taken care of. I'm going to get it taken care of. I'm going to start today by cleaning up the rock pile. I did get the corner of the shed cleaned up. That's a milestone. And then hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll be able to burn. And after the first of the year, I'm going to take care of this trailer issue and start working on the wood chip pile. It may be beginning of spring before this gets done, but if you don't at least set your sights on it, it doesn't get done. And if I don't make it a priority to make my life easier for myself by getting this straightened up, by getting this mess out of here, then it won't get done because it won't have been a priority for me. But it is a priority for me, believe me. And I'm going to work on it starting today. So to that end, I need to finish doing what I told y'all I was going to do a while back, and that is straighten up my little rock pile. These are little spoils and cinder blocks and things that are broken and what have you, but I use them for all different kind of reasons. So I need to stack them up, maybe even in another spot. I need to find a good spot for these and get that done. Rock pile moved. Moved it down here just to the other side of the horse fence. And there it is. I can see what I have now. I have one more rock down there. I have to get the shovel to get out, but I'll do that in a minute. But pretty much this is it. I kind of separated it into cinder blocks, square blocks and the chunks thereof, the red blocks, and then just miscellaneous little pieces of concrete down there that I find around the yard. But this will give me somewhere to come and put it and keep it semi-organized, and I can check this off my list because it's been on my list for a long time. So got that done today. Well, I'm not completely done. I have to go all the way down the ramp and turn the corner. But I just wanted to show you that I managed to get this much done. I managed to get this done, and it's fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You may not be able to see us from outer space on a satellite thing, but that's okay. I'm not the Griswolds. I'm just trying to get things accomplished enough to add some spirit to our house. But to not put me up on a ladder right now, I don't know why. I'm just kind of thinking, well, I can tell you what, I do know why. I do know why. I know what's been going through my mind, and that is, I did the video Monday, I believe, about the healthcare and the share plans versus Obamacare and all that stuff. And one of the things when you're looking at the share healthcare plans, and this is really applicable to anybody that has a high deductible type plan where you're going to be doing mostly self-pay, and that is they ask you to be safe, to not do dangerous things, to not engage in dangerous activities that put yourself at risk, and to kind of agree to be a low maintenance type person that doesn't require a lot of emergency room visits and stuff like that. And I understand things happen, but I also understand what they're saying when they ask you to kind of be mindful, so that you're not asking for a lot of claims to be submitted and shared among members, because they shouldn't have to help pay for you falling off a ladder and doing something you're not accustomed to doing, like putting lights up high with ladders you really don't like, just so you can kind of show off at Christmas. And I kind of agree with that. I'm not going to put myself at that risk. If I go with a share plan, I don't want other people to have to pay for my back injury from doing it. Life throws enough curves at you. I think I'll just kind of be on the safe side right now. At my age and with my responsibilities that I have, I need to keep Lainey in good shape. So that's what I'm trying to do. I think I've gotten a good day's work done today. There's always more tomorrow. But for today, I'm feeling good about it. Thank y'all so much for joining me again. This is Lainey at Hilltop Home Place. Please stay free. And y'all look forward to this coming holiday. I wish everyone has a great holiday season and preparations and being with family. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.